This is the second video in a series of 17, exploring the book, The Power of Discipline, How to Use Self-Control and Mental Toughness to Achieve Your Goals by Daniel Walter. In this episode, we'll dive into Chapter 2, The Benefits of Self-Discipline. When we talk about prosperity after the age of 40, it's impossible not to talk about self-discipline, because self-discipline is the invisible foundation of every reconstruction, financial, emotional, or spiritual. It's the muscle that sustains your best intentions when motivation fades. And if you're over 40, you already know, motivation comes and goes, but maturity requires consistency. Daniel Walter says that self-discipline is necessary in every area of life, but most people don't realize it because they live on autopilot. And that's perhaps the greatest trap of adulthood, the habit of surviving instead of truly living. We work, pay bills, take care of everyone, except the one thing that truly moves us forward. And that's how, little by little, life turns into a repetition of urgencies instead of a conscious project. If you feel like your financial life is stuck, that you're always putting out fires but never really moving ahead, maybe the problem isn't the lack of money. It's the lack of discipline. Yes, self-discipline. Because that's what separates desire from achievement. It's the bridge that turns good intentions into tangible results. Walter says many marriages, careers, and financial lives collapse due to a lack of self-discipline. And he's right. A partner who cheats doesn't control their impulses. A professional buried in debt doesn't control their spending. An entrepreneur who gives up at the first obstacle doesn't control their emotions. At the core, what's missing is self-mastery. And without self-mastery, success is nothing more than a coincidence. But here's the good news. Self-discipline can be learned, trained, and strengthened like a muscle. And the more you practice it, the more it transforms your life. One of the first benefits, according to the author, is increased self-confidence. And this is a crucial point for anyone seeking prosperity after 40. Self-confidence is the fuel of reinvention. Many people at this stage lose confidence because they look back and see unfulfilled promises, abandoned goals, postponed dreams. But what they don't realize is that confidence isn't born from the past. It's born from present action. When you regain control of your routine, when you start keeping the promises you make to yourself, you begin to respect yourself again. And that self-respect is the first step toward prosperity. Most people fail not because they lack talent, but because they don't do what needs to be done. They want change, but they remain trapped in the comfort of inertia. They want to lose weight, but sit on the couch dreaming about the body they could have. They want to earn more money, but they don't study, they don't plan, they don't act. And time goes by silently, until one day they find themselves caught in a cycle of frustration and helplessness. Self-discipline breaks that cycle. It's the bridge between I wish I could and I did it. Walter explains that a disciplined person is confident because they know they're in control. They feel they have the steering wheel of their own life in their hands, and that changes everything. When you have clarity of direction, fear decreases, anxiety fades, and progress becomes predictable. It's no longer about luck, it's about consequence. Another fascinating point in this chapter is the connection between discipline and relationships. The author explains that many bonds break because people don't do what they say they'll do. And if you're over 40, you know how true that is. How many friendships have been lost because someone didn't keep their word? How many business deals have failed because of a lack of commitment? Self-discipline is the foundation of trust. A disciplined person honors what they promise, meets deadlines, respects agreements, and that's why they attract long-term partnerships, both personal and professional. In the world of business and finance, that's pure gold. Trust is the most valuable currency there is, and it can only be built on the solid rock of discipline. The third benefit Daniel Walter points out is the ability to handle criticism and offense more effectively. And here lies a profound lesson. People who are easily offended usually lack clarity about who they are. They get shaken because they depend on external approval to feel safe. But when you develop discipline, you get to know yourself. You know what you believe in, what you want, and what you're building. That's why criticism stops feeling like a threat and starts becoming feedback. The self-disciplined person understands that being corrected doesn't make them smaller. It makes them better. They learn from what others say, but they don't define themselves by it. And this emotional maturity is a powerful asset, especially for those rebuilding their financial life after 40. Because starting over requires humility. You will hear no. You will face judgment. You'll have to prove yourself all over again. And only with emotional discipline can you remain steady, even when life seems to be testing your faith. The fourth benefit Walter discusses is perhaps the most impactful one. Self-discipline reduces risky behavior. He cites studies showing that people with higher levels of self-control are less likely to abuse substances, spend impulsively, or engage in self-destructive habits. And this applies directly to financial life. How many times have you bought something you didn't need just to ease an emotional discomfort? How many times have you used your credit card as anesthesia for stress? That kind of behavior is the opposite of prosperity. And it only changes when you learn to delay gratification, to think long-term, to act consciously. Self-discipline is not about restricting pleasure. It's about choosing pleasures that build you up, not those that tear you down. It's the art of saying no to what weakens your future, and yes to what strengthens it. It's the maturity to understand that every financial decision is a seed planted, and the soil of prosperity is cultivated every single day through consistent choices. After 40, time becomes an even more precious resource. And anyone who wastes energy on impulses, distractions, or regrets is wasting life itself. Discipline is the tool that places you back at the center of your own story. It's not rigidity, it's awareness. It's the ability to choose what truly matters, even when your emotions are pulling you elsewhere. Walter ends the chapter by saying there's much more to self-discipline than just achieving goals. It's a lifestyle, a state of presence, a silent commitment to your own evolution. And that's exactly what many people in midlife are missing, a new pact with themselves. Not a pact built on pressure or guilt, but on purpose. On the calm decision that your story can still be extraordinary. If you want to prosper financially after 40, start by rebuilding your self-discipline. Create simple but non-negotiable routines. Sleep well. Study every day. Control your spending. Be grateful. Meditate. Plan. Discipline is not a burden, it's freedom. Because when you master yourself, money no longer masters you. Remember, prosperity isn't the result of luck. It's the result of consistency. And consistency is just another name for self-discipline. So, if this video resonated with you, like it, share it, and write in the comments, I choose to live with discipline and prosperity. And be sure to check out our other materials on developing a prosperous financial mindset, available in the pinned comment below.